All right, man, take your time. Hey, man. Hey, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? I hope everybody's good out there. You know what I'm saying? I hope everything is good with y'all. All right, man. So today's episode, we're gonna be talking about young Scooter, um, and him and his passing. I want y'all to watch this video of police officers who's actually talking about this guy passing. And I don't really know how to feel about this because I never heard of this guy, but I heard that he was a pretty big Atlanta rapper. But either way, we're gonna talk about it. And before I get into that, I gotta get a legendary spill. This is Torch Talk. If you like the content, please consider subscribing. If you're new here, let me work for your subscription today. All the beautiful, single, sexy ladies, put one in the chat. All the fellas, y'all know where to find the ones that just don't harass them. I don't sell no merch, but I do have content absolutely free. But if you want to leave a donation, link is in the description. Cash App, no more PayPal. They call me the hidden gem. I went from 1,300 subscribers to over 13, 14, 15, 16,000. And yes, I am the king of the North. Let me know what kingdom you from. For all the people that is saying that my volume is low, uh, turn your volume up because my volume is very loud, and I'll even turn it up a little more. You know what I'm saying? There you go. So, all right, maybe I'm speaking soft. Maybe that's what it is. But let's get to it, man. Let's do it. All right, man. Let's go. Let's talk about it. It's a sad day. Rest in peace to that man. Yeah, let's get it.
Door.
It's just a strange situation. So police say that they were called out here for a shots fired call, but when they got here, they didn't find any evidence of a shooting. So the situation that we're hearing about, we're hearing that a 39-year-old man, Kenneth Bailey, is dead. That's according to the medical examiner, and a loved one on this.
I know this is off topic, but my ex-girlfriend name was Bailey. But I never heard of this rapper. Never heard of this rapper. But I heard that he was pretty big, but I never heard of him. Never. And I'm my ears to the streets when it comes to this stuff, but I never heard of him. It's so many people that rap though. I ain't gonna lie. But let's run it back a little bit.
Of a shooting. So the situation that we're hearing about, we're hearing that a 39-year-old man, Kenneth Bailey, is dead. That's according to the medical examiner, and a loved one on the scene is the one who confirmed that that was rapper Young Scooter.
All right, so today we got Young Scooter in the news after he passed away last night on his 39th birthday while running from the police in Atlanta. This news.
That's wild. You died on your birthday. That's wild. Damn, that's wild. That's wild.
Started breaking last night, but it started breaking with a lot of misinformation included, right? I've seen a lot of blogs, a lot of news sites posting saying that Young Scooter was shot and killed by the police. That's the narrative a lot of people were running with. As of today, it looks like that is not actually the true story behind this. However, his death still remains suspicious and mysterious, to say the least, right? Like, a lot of things just ain't adding up about this story right here. So Young Scooter was celebrating his 39th.
Yeah, I did see a lot of blogs saying that he was shot. But I always wait when it's situations like this when it deals with the police. I don't jump the gun because a lot of us we tend to and I hate to say this, but we tend to blame the police for doing everything. Not to say that the police don't do stuff because they do. We tend to blame them for everything. Everything. So that's why I don't necessarily like to jump the gun on stuff like that. And it's not to say that the police don't do some nefarious things because they always do. And you know what they say, the police is the biggest gang in America. So, but a lot of times people, two things could be right at once, let's just say. let's keep going.
Birthday last night when police received a phone call about shots being fired and a woman being drugged back into a house at 273 William Nye Drive on the southeast part of Atlanta. When police arrived on the scene, they said that a man opened the door, and when he realized it was the cops, he quickly slammed it in their face before him and another man fled out of the rear of the home. One of the men that were running actually turned around and returned back to the house, but young Scooter decided he was going to continue running, and he made the decision to jump over 2 fences while he was fleeing. Officers said when they located him on the other side of the fence, he appeared to have suffered an injury to his leg. The police rendered aid to him, had him loaded up and transported to the hospital, where he would inevitably pass away from his injury. These are
So they're saying that he hopped the fence, 2 fences, and maybe one of the fence snagged his leg. Now, I will say this: if he hopped the fence and one of the fences that he hopped cut one of his arteries in his leg, yeah, he's done. He's done. You have a couple of main arteries in your body, and I believe your leg, inside of your leg has one. I believe it does. So if you get that cut, there's nothing they can do about that, especially the police, because that type of bleeding you can't stop. You can't stop that type of bleeding, and no first aid kit can stop that. If that's the case, if that's what happened, even if in your groin area, if that happens, because when you do hop fences, a lot of times you get caught. If you try to jump a fence and your leg get caught, and you get caught, and it rips the in between your legs, yeah, that definitely could happen. That's not no joke. You know what I'm saying? No joke.
the official details that the police told to the press.
Police say they were called by someone saying they heard shots and then saw a woman being pulled into a home. Well, when police arrived, they say they didn't find a woman, but they did have a man open the door to that home and then close it in the officer's face. A lieutenant tells us 2 men then ran out the back door. The officers say that one of the men returned to the house, but the other one, young Scooter, jumped 2 fences, and that's when he was fatally hurt.
Right, so this is where the story got
That's kind of weird. That story is weird. So the police showed up to the house, right? The guy opens the door, then slams it in the police face. So the police didn't know. They didn't know it was police. So they knocked on the door. They didn't say, "Police, open up," because obviously that's what they have to say. They have to say, "Police, open up." They're not just going to knock on the door. So he opens the door and he sees the police and he slams it in their face. Or he opened the door and said, "Ain't nothing going on," and slammed it in their face. One or the other. But that just doesn't sound right, that he opened the door and slammed it in their face and then they ran. So what happened between then? Did y'all kick the door in? Did y'all go around the side of the house? What happened? You know what I'm saying? Did y'all start chasing? And y'all said the one man came back. So how many police officers were there? Were there 4? Were there 5? Were there 1? Were there 2 officers? You know what I'm saying? And the only thing I'm saying in this situation is no one said they heard gunshots. Now, if people said they heard gunshots and then he hopped the fence or whatever and he bled out or whatever, that could be the case. But if there's witnesses saying that this happened, no one said they heard gunshots. So that's why I believe that maybe there's no gunshot. Maybe there is people who said that, but who knows? Well, then again, there were people who said that he was shot, right? They said that he was shot by the cops, but I don't know. I'm kind of like at a crossroad with this one.
A little bit of confusion included, because pretty quickly we started to hear reports and people saying that while young Scooter was running from the cops, one of them had to have opened fire. They probably hit him in the leg, and that's what killed him. Which, I mean, that would make sense, except for the problem is that the police swear to God that that's not what happened. They say that his injury was a self-sustained injury, something that he did to himself while he was jumping the fences. And even though people were running with that narrative, there were videos coming out from people that were on the scene when this went down, literally standing there talking to the police, with the police saying that that's not what happened.
Police did not shoot Scooter, man.
Police did not shoot Scooter, man. They saying he's still alive. Detectives just told us. Don't believe the blogs. Detectives just told us. So the police ain't kill him?
No!
And they say the police ain't kill him, man. That's wrong info.
What?
That dude looked like Perry Mason. Who the fuck you think he was? Bruh. Oh my God. This is hilarious. Bruh. Come on, bro. Just think, yo, why do detectives gotta wear them type of hats? Like they solving crimes. Come on, bro. Yo, that's hilarious. Oh my God.
Say the police ain't kill him, man. That's wrong info.
What?
Wrong info, man.
What were you doing out here, man?
I don't know what he was doing out here, man.
That is so false, man.
That's like the opposite of what happened.
Yeah.
Man.
First off, them detectives look like the type of detectives you would see in a Looney Tunes cartoon, but you can hear the detective say there that, you know, people claiming.
They do. They do. Oh my God, bro. That is hilarious.
Scooter was shot are just wrong, that's the opposite of what actually went down. And this is something that would be further corroborated by a lieutenant of the Atlanta Police Department, Lieutenant Andrew Smith, in a press conference that he held last night. A press conference, like I said, where he denied that young Scooter was shot by the police, but like very awkwardly doesn't really give any extra detail about what might have happened. It's a really weird press conference. Y'all watch it.
Smith, Atlanta Homicide Commander. We're here to discuss two events this evening. The first being from the 200 block of William Nye Drive in Zone 3. Officers responded to a dispute with a weapon. It was advised in the call remarks that shots were fired and a female was dragged back into the location. Once officers arrived, they knocked on the door. A male opened the door and immediately shut the door on the officers. The officers then established a perimeter. During the process of establishing the perimeter, two males fled out of the rear of the house. One male returned back into the house. The other male jumped two fences as he was fleeing. When officers located him on the other side of the fence, he appeared to have suffered an injury to his leg. Officers rendered aid and he was transported to Grady Hospital, where he was pronounced deceased. That male is going to be a 39-year-old male out of Atlanta. Just to be very clear, the injury that was sustained was not via the officers on scene. It was when the male was fleeing. And that's what we have for you.
What was the...
Damn. Now, obviously, if you get caught lying, because they're gonna do an investigation, if you get caught lying, then everybody's fired, and he knows this. And if they go to the hospital and they say, "Well, there was a gunshot wound," yeah, you can't determine, how would I say this? A leg being cut from a fence and a gunshot wound is not the same type of wound, not even in the slightest the same way. So if you get your artery cut from a fence versus you getting shot in the leg, yeah, they're gonna know that you was shot. They're gonna know. They're gonna know.
Discussion, what led to the 39-year-old having to flee from police? Can you give us a little bit more detail? Because it just seems, what exactly led to him running away?
So, again, there was a 911 call of dispute with shots fired and a female being dragged back into the residence. When officers arrived, a male initially opened the door, closed the door on the officer's face without communicating completely. That's when the officers established a perimeter and the two males fled. Why they fled, obviously, we can't speak for them.
Well, you know why they fled. Most niggas run from cops. I remember when me and my cousin, we was in the projects, and the cops was called on somebody else, and me and my cousin start running. The cops chased us through the back of the projects. And they called us, and they asked us, "Why would you run?" And I said, "Well, we always run from cops, cops, right?" So basically, that's what it is. So that's the reason why they run, because they already know a lot of times cops do some stuff to young black men. That's just the bottom line. I mean, like, not to say they all do, but I don't want to be one of those guys that get caught in the statistic of a cop. He said, "Oh, well, not that many cops do it, but they could do it to me. So I don't want to be caught in that." So that's why we run. You know what I'm saying? That's why we run. Plus, you know, cops have a history of doing things. You know what I'm saying? And the cops asked us our names, and we told them our names, and then it wasn't even people they was looking for. They said, you should never run from a cop, because what happens if you run and we think you got something and then somebody shoots you, then what? So he said to me. And I was like, oh man, I don't know. But I don't even encounter cops no more. I try my hardest to not even encounter a police officer at all.
So it's still an active investigation.
Was the woman injured at all?
So we were not able to locate a female. We ended up with two males and the decedent.
And you said a dispute, so it started in a car, a moving car?
No, outside of the residence.
Outside of the residence, and then a woman was drugged back into the...
That's what was reported. We have not been able to substantiate any of that, which is also a part of our investigation.
And then when he jumped over the fence from one victim, what wound would, I guess, did he shoot himself?
No, there was no indication of anyone being shot. This appears that there was, when he fell, some type of fracture injuries to the leg, which caused the bleeding.
Clarify, this wasn't any...
A little bit different. So he didn't cut his leg. He fell. And if he fell, that's possible. You can fall, and if you break I mean, it's very hard to break your femur bone. Break that bone and it poked between your leg or something like that. Yeah, it's could have been a bunch of different things. We don't know exactly what the injury is. I'm sure that if you look it up, you could probably find it. But even with that, where was the girl at? They said that there was no girl now. Now they're saying that there's no girl. And I don't know. The story just seems sketchy to me. It just seemed like it's a little more to it and somebody's not saying nothing. So,
Problem with the Atlanta police as far as shooting?
Correct. There's in neither one of these cases were officers involved in shooting at all.
That one started with a 911 call of a dispute.
Correct.
That's why you guys got there. And then...
Dispute, shots fired, woman being drugged back into the residence. The Atlanta Police Department has not been involved in any shootings tonight. And, all right, thank you.
All right, so that was...
the thing is, too, I believe they have this thing now where I don't know if it's in Atlanta. I'm sure they probably have it where you shoot a gun and they know, I forget what they call it. If anybody knows in the comment what they call it, but I know if you shoot a gun, they can tell where it came from. You know what I'm saying? They can tell where it came from. And in some cases, I believe that they have the technology now and they can tell you what type of gun it was. So I don't know exactly if they have that in Atlanta or not. I forget what they call it. I'm gonna look it up.
pretty much the full press conference about what went down. But it's strange because you can hear him say that they got a phone call. Somebody called the police and reported shots fired. If y'all remember the news clip from earlier that we watched, they said when police showed up, they could find no evidence of shots being fired.
It's just a strange situation. So police say that they were called out here for a shots fired call, but when they got here, they didn't find any evidence of a shooting.
Apparently on this phone call, whoever called them claimed that there was a woman being drugged back into the house. In that press conference, you could hear that guy say that they didn't even find a woman on the scene.
So we were not able to locate a female. We ended up with 2 males and the decedent.
For some reason, whatever reason, they claimed that young Scooter just decided to run. When he was asked about why young Scooter would run, he's pretty much like, man, I don't know. So he's acting like there was no interaction between him and young Scooter at all, aside from young Scooter shutting the door on them. And a lot of the details, I'm not gonna lie, y'all, just aren't adding up a whole lot. You know, it's weird. It's strange for sure. But as of right now, that's the details that we have about what went down. They're claiming that it was some kind of fracture. You can hear one news reporter ask, did he shoot himself? Because I know some people were thinking maybe he shot himself in the leg. The policeman says, nah, nobody shot anybody. There was no shooting at all. And I mean, I did look into it. And if you suffer a fracture to your thigh, you do have arteries in your thighs, it can be fatal. Heard the cop say pretty much that he bled out, which leads me to believe maybe he broke something, hit an artery, and they just couldn't stop the bleeding. I mean, at this point, who knows? It's very strange indeed. But in response to all this, we did have young Scooter's son actually speak out about this, and he went on Instagram and he posted this, and it says, "Uff APD, the Atlanta Police Department." He said, "Police or not, y'all ain't have no understanding about nothing. You pulled straight up, ain't give a uff about no handcuffs on me. I just wanted to make sure you good. That's all I kept asking, and they whole ass kept lying. Damn, my best friend gone. Happy birthday too. I know exactly what to do for sure though. You know I got my sisters and brothers. They overly good. Your son a hustler just like you. Watch this." And I found that statement interesting because he's very clearly blaming the Atlanta Police Department for what went down. He continued, he said, "I promise I'm gonna get back to y'all. Thank y'all. I'm just trying to stay off this social media-ish because we got lame-ass blogs lying and man, I don't even want to see none of this stuff. I'm broken into a million pieces. I don't wish this pain on nobody. My dad was a good dude. He ain't deserved this, right?" And rest in peace to young Scooter, man. I feel for his family right about now. I know that they're going through it. All last night, he was on Instagram reposting stories of people wishing him a happy birthday. He was only 39. Trying to imagine being a 39-year-old healthy man and dying because you jump a fence is crazy. I ain't gonna lie, especially when the details about what happened are as murky as they are in this story right here. But one last thing I want to hit on is Rollo, right? Young Scooter and Rollo, they got a long, lengthy history together. Here recently, they kind of have been going back and forth. They've been involved in a feud. Just in the last year, we've seen them go back and forth to the point where Rollo pretty much asked young Scooter to just get in a room solo with him so they could run the fade. Scooter had responded to him saying real ones don't fight each other. It's already a certain respect. If you feel you could put your hands on me, you gonna feel this fire. Y'all might remember that, but Rollo actually spoke on this situation as well. Kind of frustrated because blogs were already reaching out to him, trying to get him to do interviews and things like that. And you could tell that he was also hurt by this loss right here because the two of them never really got to patch things up. You know, y'all listen to what Rollo said.
Listen, dog, please stop calling my phone. You see what's going on the same way I see what's going on. And this do not feel good at all. My brother just got killed. And I can't even go slide for him. On top of that, me, his mama, his real family, like this our real core family, like before a rap song, before a dollar came, we family. I don't want to hear this talking about no interviews. I don't want to do no interviews. I don't want to do nothing. I just want to chill. Then I got to go in the club tonight and act like I ain't but I got to smile for these motherfucking cameras. This shit ain't no good feeling. I don't want to kick it, bro. Stop calling me, bro.
Yeah, so there's that. There's what Rollo had to say. But, man, y'all got to let me know what y'all think about it. Do y'all think the Atlanta Police Department is hiding something in this case right here? Watching the news clips and hearing the stories, man, none of it really adds up. They responded to a call about a mysterious woman that didn't exist when they got there.
I mean, what y'all think about that? I mean, I can't sit here and say that there's somebody hiding something because I don't know. I mean, it could be true. They could have been chasing him, and he could have jumped the fence and really did have the injury, because I told you that injury is no joke. But if nobody got shot, and I don't know how they will cover that up. That's all I'm saying. I don't know how they will cover that up. It would be very difficult for them to cover that, because when they do an autopsy, they're gonna look at all that, and they can tell you whether he got shot. Like that's not a thing they can hide. I mean, if the coroner is honest, which we hear coroners is honest, they can tell you that the bullet, whatever, they gonna tell you the bullet burns or the gunpowder residue, all that. Trust me, everything, whether as far as the bullet, where it hit at, whatever, if he was shot, or they can come out and tell you that he really did break his femur bone or whatever bone and sever the artery. It depends on what type of gate he jumped. I mean, maybe it was a high gate. Who knows? But I think is if he jumped and he landed wrong, broke his leg, how did the police get to him? Did they climb the fence and jump over the fence as well? Or did they go around? Like, how did the police get to him? If they was giving him aid, like, how did they get to him? You know? So, but thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have yourself a good one. I'll see y'all. Peace. Bye.